If we hadn't happened to see the Jade Chamber flying over... Did we make it in time? Is the over...
What are you doing here?
Huh? Hold on. It's the Adepti. What are you doing on the Jade Chamber? Paimon thought you were arguing with the Chising.
Faced with a calamity of such magnitude, we have agreed to put our differences aside for...
Oh, Paimon gets it. So how do you plan to defend Lila? Just seeing this Overlord of the Vortex got...
It's not just you. We've got new Millilith recruits who can't even stand at attention without shaking. The force of an ancient god's presence seems to be too much for ordinary people to handle. Which is why we must stop that monster before it gets any closer to Liu Harp.
So the Archon War was fought 2,000 years ago against... So will the power of the Chising, Millilith, and Adepti gather...
We've already discussed this together, and our...
What? Wait, all of you were supposed to be the...
One certainly could.
Huh?
The Chising did once research the matter of the Guizhong Ballista when it piqued their and as fate would have it, one who did craft the... For what could you mortals ever learn of Adepti mechanisms? Yet, it would take one, but a little tinkering to turn this...
I suppose this is one blessing from the Adepti that we... So be it. We shall use the upgraded Guizhong Ballista to fight off that god. All the Adepti here can lend theirs. We haven't a moment to spare. Yep.
У вас где противники?
Я не знаю.
Окей.
The Fatui! They're attacking the Glacial Ballista!
The three Adepti are manning the Guizhong Ballista. Do not let the Fatui disturb their work!
All able Millilith, with me!
Let's go help too!
We Adepti have not faced a god in several millennia. Let one see what you're made of then. What strength remains within you? One wishes to witness.
Come a little closer.
You can't run!
You're in for a little...
I miscalculated.
Какой видок.
Come a little closer. You're in for a little... You're in for a little shot.
Сейчас подождем прям самый помощь.
That is Osial's divine power. I am very familiar with it. Be careful not to get hit.
Let the show begin!
The Fatui! Their attacks are unrelenting!
How daring. Snezhnai's diplomats will answer for this afterward. Every last one.
Понял. children? Don't lose heart. Here, take this.
This is adeptal energy. That light from your body. It's like the time in Julian Cars. Whoa! It's Madam Pink's shockwave. This granny's really strong.
Come a little closer. With the blood of the Chilean, I guard you against evil. Cast your fear of injury by the wayside and fight with all your might. I too did this during the Archon War.
So this is what Ganya's like in a fight.
My name means swiftness. Take my power and run as I do.
We're going too fast! Let the show begin!
Child, you're strong in body and spirit. Perhaps you can withstand 3 forms of adeptal energy at once.
This will hurt a little. Please bear with us.
Once you've adapted, try to use them in battle.
You're in for a little shock. Let's talk things up a little. Come a little closer.
Come on, we can do it!
Come a little closer. You're in for a little shock. Come a little closer. Come a little closer. Exercise caution. I fear that the god's power
над тобой
has
прям.
reached its peak.
Понял.
In other words, if we hold here, there's nothing worse to come, right?
Ich lade nach.
Try not to enjoy this too much.
Ready, steady, go!
Come a little closer. Come a little closer. Surrender and be gentle. The Patui's numbers are thinning!
Fight on, comrades! Once we finish this lot off, the Adepti will be able to deal with the god in peace.
The interlopers are no more. Now we may commit ourselves fully.
It's working! We just need to keep this up!
Be careful now.
The Guizhong Ballista is destroyed. Without its covering fire, retaliation shall be difficult.
But the Jade Chamber is our last line of defense. We can't give another inch, no matter what.
I have another idea.
What do you mean, Lady Ningguang?
I'll sacrifice the Jade Chamber.
What is the meaning of this?
I understand.
Traveler, lend me a hand. Farewell, old friend. Goodbye for now. Let us meet again in the future.
Everyone is working super hard. Is it finally over?
The ominous aura of that monster has indeed begun to fade. The effects of the Sigil of Permission last but a short time. It will be some time before the Overlord of the Vortex.
We are indebted to you for your assistance. If the Adepti hadn't happened to be here, the few...
Save your flattery. We didn't just happen to be here. Surely you won't pretend to have forgotten the reason for which we...
Come now. There's no need for such harsh words, Cloud Retain. I've heard that when Ningguang began learning to do business, she had already started setting aside part of her then limited At first, it was only the size of a small room. But with continued expansion, it has become the palace. It is a testament to Ningguang's entire life, both as a... Seeing the Jade Chamber destroyed in the defense of Liyue means much to her. To me, such cooperation and sacrifice deserves...
Well, I was really hoping you would say that such... Thank you all for hearing me out. We know very well why the Adepti came here today. But please forgive us. We cannot yield.
Oh?
3,700 years. According to our records, the Adept, even to this very day, Liyue and its lands have stood the test of time, immovable as stone. Just as it, but that does not mean that the Liyue of today is the same city as it was all those years ago. Do not merely cast your protective gaze upon the land. Instead, focus your sights on our city.
Are you questioning our means of protecting Liyue?
I mean no offense. I simply hope that our Adepti forebears would see Liyue in an...
Forebears, you say? One doubts you would be fit to be part.
This morning, Rex Lapis appeared to me in a dream.
What?
In the dream, I yearned to tell him that we Qixing, though mortal, are equally bound to the contract. I also thought to tell him how the past generations of Qixing had strove under his rule to survive in our mortal world, establishing a network of contracts which has since come to be known as trade. But I dared not speak. I could only gaze at him in silence until the moment I awoke.
Oh, Ningguang.
Yet another perspective. What are you trying
Спектр, а
to
какой у
say,
нас приказ?
Обещаем, он сейчас прилетит.
Right. That's something that happened in Mondstadt. It It's a story about the four winds and the people of the Animal Archon sought to quell the strife between the two sides. Because
Each of the 7 nations has its own scars from the past.
Though your point is the very height of simplicity, as Adepti, we've become a laughingstock, to be chastised the—
All right, all right. Didn't Ningguang suggest that we should focus on the city and each of its citizens?
I apologize for appearing in full armor. I am afraid I cannot show the proper courtesies.
And who are you?
I am Feng Yan, a sergeant of the Millelith. I have come to extend my thanks. I thought this battle would perhaps be my last. But thanks to the aid of the Adepti, our forces were not as badly battered as although I am a mere mortal soldier. I promise to hold the line and never be—
Прикольно они настроили.
Why does everyone look so down? Didn't we just beat that big?
Weren't you frightened, dear? It was quite—
I wasn't afraid. All the strong Millelith guards were there, and those powerful heroes with their when danger is near, everyone always protects me. And the rest of the time, they make fun toys and tasty snacks and loads of things. Thanks for protecting Liyue Harbor. Please come visit us for the next lantern.
Unfortunately, we wouldn't be able to participate.
Huh?
Because we are Adepti.
Oh, okay.
You see, this is what Liyue is like today. The country of contracts is grateful to the Adepti for their protection. But it is no longer necessary for the city to rely on the Adepti's power to solve. Although their blood is weak, there is still strength to be found in those weak. The time of contracts between gods and Liyue has long since passed. Now is the time of contracts between Liyue.
Seeing the port around us now, it is hard not to feel a bit out of place. Wouldn't you say so, Cloudred?
Your line of inquiry is askew. One did not spearhead this expedition to Liyue Harbor.
Seems like the Adepti have had a change of heart.
Let us return now.
Eager to
Все пополнились, патронов практически не осталось.
Yes, one understands that the conqueror of demons.
Даже класс поменялся, наверное, минус 20 патронов сразу.
That by the time one finally grasps the new contracts of Liyue, you fair enough. Away.
Я уже слышал, как этот пуск был. Я слышал, как пак. Сейчас еще раз.
We Adepti have consensus. But how will we ensure that the Liyue Chising will not simply exploit their power once we depart?
Мимо прошло.
All right, Mooncarver, you needn't worry. It seems to me that this right of supervision is best.
Looks like the conflict between humans and Adepti was avoided. All's well that ends well, huh? Oh, right! It's nice that we've got peace and all, but we're forgetting one child wanted to unleash the god so he could lure... But we were able to handle the Overlord of the Vortex on our... Oh, and speaking of that, don't we still need to get to the... Hyman doesn't get it. But isn't the strongest lead we have the Adepti-less rite of parting that we're organizing?
Что я под таким
No
углом.
idea where Zhang Li's gone.
Смотри, какой корабль.
Let's ask for him at Wangshen Funeral Parlor.